Sí, en francés. ¿Francés? Ahí se le abrirá con una cocina correcta.
Allí está la...
And then some collection member before 5 years, 6 years ago.
The Spanish justification, but in fact, this was its true purpose. This is Karl Marx presiding over the class war that Diego and Marx believed was inevitable. The pre-Columbian period, Teotihuacan. Assis. Guessing that this just shows dentistry. Of course, corn or maíz. I don't recognize these rolls unless they're just rugs made of reeds, perhaps. It looks like there's a bit of texture there. I can make out right there. An interesting view of the calzadas, or causeways, from the mainland out to the islands and from island to island. Hadn't seen this illustrated before. How beautiful it must have been when all the canals were there. This mural illustrating the manufacture of textiles. I don't recognize this unless it refers to flowers and herbs. And this man looks like a hunter who may be pulling back an arrow with his arms and legs, perhaps to shoot one of those ducks or birds flying by. Don't know what this is, unless it was some kind of syrup. This panel seems to be the manufacture of various gewgaws, I'll call them, but some specific panels. This looks like a net for catching birds because feathers are very important. The Quetzalcoatl, I think is the name of a bird that had spectacular feathers, is now extinct or almost extinct. I think it is extinct because of its consumption in those days. Here perhaps people are gathering material for pottery. That man may be carrying a cage with birds trapped in it. Here you see the flamboyant use of feathers. And below that, the working of the feathers. Here, the fabrication of ceramics, as well as the decoration of obsidian And what they're working on seem to be very familiar artifacts if you've been to Teotihuacan. Now, in all these panels that I've been showing since the masterpiece of Diego's are allegedly unfinished. A little hint of that is, if you look at the lower right-hand corner, you'll see that richly decorated garment that the man in the middle is wearing, and the colored feathers. But over to the left, the garments are quite plain. Now, I don't know if that's the indicator, but I have noticed a certain simplicity in these other panels before this one. What's notable here are the flyers, which apparently are reproduce what they do out at the Bosque Nacional Museum of Anthropology. So I'll try to see those the next time I go. Occasionally you'll see a face that reflects this Indian blood. I don't know if the forehead was purposely shaped that way at birth, but the nose, my waiter yesterday out at Teotihuacan had such a nose. Now yesterday at the Pyramid of the Moon, Piramide de Luna, were these little platforms placed on the railing on the way up the stairs on the sides. Here looks like a similar thing in the center, but I cannot make out what it is that's on it, although they seem to be attended by a person. This panel seems to clearly deal with agriculture and its system of chimpanas. Chimpanas being these floating little islands, if you will, that were created and allowed this culture to grow to the size that it did. Tortillas, metat, tortillas. I don't know what this fruit or vegetable is. It comes in trees and looks like squatty corn, but it looks like it's processed back there on that little patio, and then it's set out to dry. That cactus, which you see a lot of here, may be what tequila is made from. This panel is totally devoted to the subjugation of the natives by the Spanish. All, of course, in the name of Christianity. There are two of these faces in the panel. I don't know what they signify. It reminds me of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. In those days, Catholicism did not have to tolerate non-believers. Interesting how Diego has placed in juxtaposition the natives used as cattle to pull a plow, and the Spaniard driving the cattle. And on this man, why the bulbous knee? Why those bulbous knees? I don't know if this is currently used as their legislative room or not. There's the elaborate leg painting. This is an irony. This toy has wheels, but the pre-Hispanics, I do not believe, used the wheel in construction. I remember reading that fact with regard to the Incas and Machu Picchu. Salvation Army there, or across the street or somewhere will be somebody. This is an older version, either that or a second, the first original church, as opposed to the one over here. This is the Templo San Francisco del Assis, A-S-I-S. Looks very old. This apparently is where another portion of this church used to be, of course. But look at the old timbers there. You can see them pretty rotted out already. It looks like the lower portion has been restored, or at least cleaned. For some reason. Explicar siguiente, por favor, para mí. ¿Qué es?
Son a 10, cómpremelas. Cómpremelas.
¿Por qué?
2 para que agarren las cazuelas.
¿Por comer?
Ajá.
Ah, so it's a pot holder.
Mire,
Ah,
2
sí.
para que agarren las cazuelas.
Ah, son 20 pesos.
Ajá.
¿Otras cosas?
Pero todavía no la termino la servilleta.
La servilleta.
Todavía no termino esta. Mire. Todavía no la termino, mire. Apenas
sí.
hice las huesos de la sandía.
Sandía,
La
sí.
sandía.
De la sandía.
Este rojo para
Sí.
la sandía.
Ah.
Aquí verde.
Mucho trabajo.
Sí.
Mucho trabajo.
Ajá.
Muchas gracias.